I've given up giving prices to people because people on the internet, they're just not nice. And so you get, oh, Raoul says this, so-and-so says that, it didn't do that. So I'll phrase it a different way, is we're seeing a much earlier ramp in the cycle than we've seen in the past, which is very interesting. It's very rare to be this strong this early in the cycle. Now, we are front-running some of the capital flows, and so there's probably some correction that happens by the rumour sell the fact. But I think if the space continues like this and we start getting monetary easing and the other conditions that tend to jumpstart the business cycle again, then we should see a very strong 2024 and most likely a strong 2025. Yeah, let me frame it for people in a way that people might understand it better. So I think many of us know by now that we're building some sort of digital network states. And we've been doing this over time, even over Facebook and all of the other social media. It's moving towards these online societies. And what crypto did was enable digital online societies to also have a system of money and accountability and finance and value transfer and all of this stuff, which is a new layer onto the internet. So we've created, and I've talked about this in the past, a parallel financial system. So let's call that crypto land. In the other world, which we can call fiat world, we have this massive but broken financial system and people still having to seek returns, and returns have generally been subpar for many in that, and it's difficult to participate. So how does so this new economy, I think of it like an emerging economy, crypto land. So how do economies work? Economies work, GDP growth is driven by population growth, productivity growth, and debt growth. Those are the three components that make GDP grow. So when you go to the fiat world, we've got aging populations and in many countries shrinking. We've got low productivity that may get changed by AI and other stuff, but it's still yet to be proven. But the old population is less productive. And debt growth stopped essentially in 2008. And all new debt growth is really just servicing of old debts. When we go to this new emerging economy, we have population growing at 100% a year, which is the number of active wallets. If you think of it, had a massive recession in crypto land in 2022, and the population grew 42%. So it's like, okay, this is an amazing thing. So obviously GDP growth is faster. Productivity growth keeps increasing. Things like smart contract was a new increase in productivity for crypto land. Let's say compressed NFTs, maybe what Solana's doing with Firedancer, maybe ZK proofs, all these things are productivity increases. And then debt growth, well, we've just wiped out the debt from the last cycle, so we're going to rebuild debt again this cycle, because that's what humans do. They love a bit of debt. So now what you've got is this new digital economy that's not easily accessible to everybody. Not everybody's got a passport to go there. And then you've got this fiat world. And what this ETF is a trade agreement that fiat world people can go and invest in crypto land without having to be a native. They don't need a wallet. They don't need to self-custody. They don't need any of this stuff that we all go through every day as part of our lives because we're citizens over there, but they're not. But what they've got is a free trade agreement. So free trade agreements really are all about where do I get my highest return on capital? So people want to do free trade agreements with India because it's a growing population, large economy. It's the same thing. Fiat world will be saying, well, am I going to get a higher rate of return over in crypto land? In which case, I'll put some of my money at work there. That's why this is important. It's not about a single event of, we're just going to bring RIAs in. It's something much bigger. It's bridging these worlds. And then as the money comes into crypto land, it then finds its way into the other states within crypto land, whether it's Bitcoin land or whether it's ETH land or Solana land or whatever it may be. And it gets reallocated on the risk curve. Some of those are smaller emerging states and some of them are more established. So when people think of it like that, it's just an emerging market that's opening up for people to be able to invest.
Hold on to your Bitcoin crypto nomads. Bloomberg's got a bold prediction, and it's screaming Bitcoin to the moon. $500,000 style. The recent surge past $42,000 is just the start of a new crypto supercycle. Last year, we had Mike Novogratz talking big, and now Bloomberg's joining the party. The crypto realm is buzzing, with Cathie Wood predicting $1.4 million by 2030. The game is changing, and even the skeptics are raising an eyebrow as Bitcoin heads for $50,000 and dreams of $100,000. Plus, the Bitcoin halving in 2024 is adding some spicy anticipation. Are you ready for the Bitcoin roller coaster? Next up, crypto champions. MicroStrategy's making waves, and Michael Saylor is the captain of this Bitcoin ship. MicroStrategy's shares, MSTR, are soaring, outperforming S&P 500, NASDAQ, gold, silver, bonds, and yes, even Bitcoin itself. Since adopting the Bitcoin strategy in 2020, MicroStrategy is holding strong, refusing to part with its massive Bitcoin stash. Equatometrics and Adam Back are waving the MicroStrategy flag, calling for investors to buy MSTR using BTC. Sailors shouting adopt the Bitcoin standard, and the chart speaks volumes. Bitcoin is flexing its muscles, and MicroStrategy is riding the crypto wave. Novogratz versus Dimon showdown, time for some crypto drama, folks. Mike Novogratz is taking shots at Jamie Dimon, the big cheese at Jake Morgan, for dissing Bitcoin. Dimon wants to shut down crypto, calling it a tool for criminals. But Novogratz ain't having it. He's calling out Dimon's arrogance, pointing to heavy hitters like Abigail Johnson, Stanley Druckenmiller, and Ray Dalio who believe in Bitcoin. Novogratz says he keeps doubling down and he keeps being wrong. Shots fired. Bitcoin's outshining Jake Morgan's stock, and the world is waking up to the crypto revolution. Dimon versus Novogratz. Whose side are you on? And there you have it, crypto fanatics. Bitcoin's $500,000 dreams, MicroStrategy's victory lap, and the Novogratz versus Dimon showdown. What's your take on these crypto headlines? Let's continue our discussion with Raoul Pal.
Again, we've got this foreign direct investment coming in. So where is that capital going to be put to use? And what is going to be the big unlock? My mental model for this particular cycle is the everything, everywhere, all at once cycle. Because if we think about it, $67 billion went into VC, into the space in 2020 and 2021. That money has been given out to founders who are building all sorts of applications and projects and everything else. Some of them will be infrastructure layer, some will be applications layer, and everything in between. And if you see the focus of where most of these teams are working on, it's kind of everywhere. So we're seeing the asset management that the fiat world companies are building on rails from crypto land. So, this is Franklin Templeton. This is all of these people looking at tokenizing real world assets. I think that starts, the first wave of that starts. Then we're seeing at the other far end of the spectrum is everybody's focused on gaming because there's a huge audience there. So somebody's going to crack gaming in some respects. And pretty much every protocol has got teams working on that. We've got in the middle, things like compressed NFTs and Solana, I think are a much bigger deal than people understand because I think it allows for ticketing. And ticketing is at scale consumer application of blockchain of which you don't need to know it's blockchain, which is what the space has been waiting for. We've seen some attempts at social media and other sides of that. Maybe we'll see more of that. The brands haven't stopped. So we're still seeing the luxury fashion brands in the NFT space. And I think we'll see a continuation of that. We've also seen the car companies, sports teams, and others. So I think that continued space builds out as well. So I think it's more the applications of technologies than technologies. I think we've also got the identity idea that's, there's WorldCoin, there's a few people who've started in that space, and then using zero knowledge proofs, which came around in the last cycle, the applications layer from that. So I'm just thinking it's actually going to be broader than people imagine. And it's going to be more inclusive because we've now got this trade deal, the ETFs, because I think, we've got the Bitcoin one certainly coming, and it's a pretty high chance we'll get the ETH one as well.
So between the halving, which is coming up next year, and the approval of spot Bitcoin ETFs, where would you project the Bitcoin price to be at, say, like halfway through 2024 and then at year's end?
I've given up giving prices to people because people on the internet, they're just not nice. And so you get, Raoul says this, so-and-so says that, it didn't do that. So I'll phrase it a different way, is we're seeing a much earlier ramp in the cycle than we've seen in the past, which is very interesting. It's very rare to be this strong this early in the cycle. Now, we are front-running some of the capital flows, and so there's probably some correction that happens by the rumor sell the fact. But I think if the space continues like this and we start getting monetary easing and the other conditions that tend to jumpstart the business cycle again, then we should see a very strong 2024 and most likely a strong 2025. The business cycles have been almost like clockwork, 2-year up cycles, 1 year peaking, 1 year down. And that corresponds. What's amazing is the Bitcoin halving cycle is the same as the debt refi cycle, which is, I think, what drives everything. It's the same as the election cycle. They're all the same thing.
That wraps up today's crypto news highlights. Stay tuned for more updates, insights, and analysis from the world of cryptocurrencies. Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more engaging content.